All right, just waiting to start recording.
Okay.
Yep, great. Thank you. Welcome, councillors. I declare the meeting open. Warren Shire Council acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands within Warren Shire and acknowledges the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who reside within this shire. Yeah. Call for apologies. I think we have 2 apologies. Yes.
So we have the Mayor, of course, and we also have Councillor Brewer, who's unable to attend today's meeting.
Thank you. Could I have somebody to move? Councillor McCluskey, Councillor Jackson, thank you. In favour? Accepted. Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes from the meeting held on Thursday, 27th of February, 2025. Again, somebody to move and second. Councillor Surdity, thank you. Councillor McKay. Councillor Surdity. Yep. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. Disclosures of interest. Are there any to declare at this point? Nil received.
No.
Right, thank you. No minutes. So we'll move then on to the reports of the committees. So the first of that is the meeting of the Showground Racecourse Committee held on Tuesday, the 4th of March. Somebody to move. Thank you, Councillor Cleasby.
Sorry, Madam Chair. I was actually an apology for that meeting.
Sorry, at the
Racecourse one.
Yep. So we'll just get to Councillor Cleasby and someone to second. Anyone to second? Councillor Kinsey? Yep, thank you. So we'll note that Councillor Houston was an apology at that meeting, which needs to be amended on the minutes, if that's the case. Thank you, Councillor Cleasby.
The meeting on the 4th, it was probably one of the better ones in that committee that we've had. We got discussion from the race club, which I think are really going ahead at the moment, leaps and bounds, and some discussion regarding their future, what they see in the future, given that Dubbo Race Club is now actually filling up and the overflow might come out Warren way as far as trainers and things like that. So that was encouraging to see. Most of the end users I have imagined or do imagine to put their wish list in to council. I think that was come across. Once again, the team Penning just come up as far as being a member of that group. I think it's a family orientated all sports, probably fast becoming one of the popular ones because it's just not as competitive and it's more related to family type riding. Yeah, all in all, it was quite a good meeting and everything was pretty smooth. So, yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Cleasby. Anything further on those meeting minutes? Yep, Councillor McKay.
Just like to say that having attended the race meeting, the recent race meeting, it was really obvious that the attendances had approved, the general feeling of the race meeting was really good, the lunch was fantastic, and there was good feedback all around. So yeah, well done to the Jockey Club.
Thank you. Anything further? That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So next we have the meeting of the UNR Waste Depot Committee that was held on Monday, the 5th of March. Thank you, Councillor Surdity. Someone to second? Councillor Houston. Councillor Surdity.
It was a good meeting again. Most of the issues that were raised are in the general comments towards the end of the minutes. It's just a matter of plugging along and keep going the way we're going, and hopefully we'll get there in the end.
Thank you. Comments, questions, Councillor?
The entrance road in is a bone of contention, and we're still waiting for confirmation of the 220,000, I think somewhere else in the budget for flood restoration. Are we any close to knowing where that's at?
To Health and Development. Yep.
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, I have tried to make contact with Resilience. I think it is in New South Wales. So yeah, I've got to follow them up, please.
Yes,
Uh,
okay.
Yep, Councillor McKay.
Through you, Mayor. Deputy Mayor. The drum muster, it's been in there in the minutes a couple of times. What's actually happening? Is there a serious proposal being put forward that we move the drum muster program, I think it's at Nutrien now, and maybe some of the other chemical resellers out to the waste depot?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, I'm currently working on a grant application to construct a compound so that we can inspect and take delivery of drums out of the tip. Yes.
And do you see that as a revenue neutral, revenue positive thing? Or?
Through you, Madam Chair, I believe it would be revenue neutral. There is some funds raised and that's usually donated to a charity in the community.
Thank you. Anything further, Councillor McKay? No.
Well, I just don't want to, I don't want the council to be taking on the responsibility and the cost of dealing with these containers and letting the chemical companies not bear that responsibility, I suppose is what I'm saying. So as long as it's a revenue neutral or a revenue positive thing, that's fine.
Any further comment, Manager of Health and Development?
No, yep.
That's all right. Thank you. Councillor Kimby?
Would it be possible before we take on this drum master enterprise, like we actually tick it off and say we're going to do it? Would it be possible that we actually do know if there's any possible detriment to us in cost before we say, yes, we're going to do it?
I think that's
In light of what Councillor McKay just said?
yes.
Yep, through
That's
you,
okay.
Madam Chair, that's noted. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? I'll move on. No, moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. The next we have, sorry, my person. Yep. No, wait, that's fine. Next we have the minutes of the meeting of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee held on Tuesday, the 11th of March. I'm happy to move those minutes. If I could ask somebody to second. Councillor McKay, thank you. So my computer's just temporarily frozen, but I'll try and answer any questions you have to the best of my ability and seek help where required. I guess firstly, thank you very much to the Manager of Finance Administration for preparing the very comprehensive reports that are needed for this committee. To one of the recommendations is regarding the ARIC conference. That's the Country Council's ARIC conference that's being held in Gilgandra on the 4th of April. So myself, the General Manager, the Manager of Finance Administration will be attending that, along with the 3 independent members, being the Chairperson, Graham Fleming, Paul Smith of Warren, and Graham Marchant. So we have 3 independent members on that committee, and myself as a non-voting member. So we will all be attending that conference, which I'm quite looking forward to, because I think there has been still a little bit of angst about how ARIC is operating and how it will be beneficial to us. So we're still going through a little bit of some teething issues, I guess, in terms of the reporting between council and the committee. Getting on top of that, but I think it will be really good to see how some other committees are operating, and I think the issues that we're having have been common across other ARICs. So I'm hoping that we'll all get a lot out of that. I might actually ask if I guess one other thing to mention was that at this meeting, we did have all of the executive team. So previously it had just been the General Manager and the Manager of Finance Administration, but we did have also the Manager of Engineering Services and Manager of Health and Development attending the meeting because we felt that was quite relevant, and that will be probably the case moving forward. But I was just going to ask our acting general manager for any comments that he might like to make, being sitting on that meeting as a one-off.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The meeting went very, very well. In my experience at Cessnock Council, we had an ARIC set up in 2012 that was formally established in 2013. And the issues that Madam Chair has raised certainly occurred at Cessnock as well. It's a matter of understanding what the voting members would like to see, the format they'd like to see, the information presented. And also, I do understand, I've spoken to Paul Smith since the meeting, having the executive there being able to respond to particular matters was very well taken by the voting members. My experience with ARIC, it's a great committee. Certainly concentrating on the I part of ARIC, the improvement. It's not out there to hit people over the head. It's about making improvements to the way that we operate and improve the transparency and all those types of buzzwords that we need to ensure occur and show our community that things are going well. There were a couple of items that were raised, particularly in the action plan. There's a couple of actions there that go back to 2020. The concern there was not so much why has this not been done? The question was, well, it hasn't been done. Let's take it off if it's no longer important. If it is important, let's change the date and let's get on with it. So a little bit of encouragement, which was very, very positive as well. Generally, the meeting was very positive, and it was quite a long meeting, but very positive. And I know, speaking to the executive team, well accepted by them as well.
Thank you. I guess one other, not sure what the noises are, but
Emails coming in.
one other point to make is just the suggestion that was made by Paul Smith that it might be beneficial for the independent members to sit in and observe a council meeting. So I think there's a bit of a disconnect between the information that we receive and are used to receiving and the information that some of the independent members think that we should be receiving, or the concern that we're not receiving enough information. So I think that was a good suggestion, and that may happen in the future. That the chairperson was very interested to do that and did say that he would endeavour to do so. So we may see them sitting in and observing at a future meeting. So I think that would be helpful just to get them in the room. They've all had some degree of exposure to councils, but to actually see how our council operates and I guess be reassured by them, by the way our reporting is done, and maybe be able to be a little bit more focused in suggesting improvements.
I'll just add to that too, Madam Chair, that there is a strong focus by the voting members not to create additional work by staff. And what Madam Chair has just raised is along those lines. So if we're presenting reports to this group here, maybe they're the same reports or just slightly tweaked going to the ARIC rather than new reports over and above what you're seeing in front of you.
Thank you. Any questions or further information? Yep.
Through Deputy Mayor. So item 15.1, the Service New South Wales service provision. It talks about a further report describing the results of the Service New South Wales review. Did we see the previous report?
So all of the reports to this committee were circulated by the business paper, but I might just ask the Manager of Finance and Administration to speak to that recommendation.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So on that item, particularly, Council doesn't actually manage the ins and outs of the agency. It's all of Service New South Wales equipment and data and whatnot. So we're basically reliant on those guys giving us a lot of the information, which doesn't come through all that often and somewhat limited. So we clarified in the ARIC meeting moreover what they were looking for. So it's more or less just from council's business perspective as to whether we feel that that particular service is functioning and cost benefit, that side of things. So that report will be coming back afterwards. Yeah, what went to them was just a snapshot of one metric, which was what council with that agency agreement agreed to as far as number of customers that we should have versus what we actually have. I think the point of putting that through is just to show sort of a downward trend over the last few years. Everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people are going to online services versus in-house through an agency or Service New South Wales directly. So you can see a downward trend there, which is they're not concerned about. It doesn't impact the agreement or anything from council and Service New South Wales. That answers your question.
Okay.
Sorry, just one further question. So the, put in there, the community's expectations. So is there a survey or something being done to understand what the community does want from the Service New South Wales offering that the Shire gives? Or
Thank you.
Through Madam Chair, from my understanding, without sounding too blunt, I guess the community expectation in my time here has been made pretty clear. The service is required, wants to be kept open and fairly well utilised. Appreciated by the community. However, as far as that extends to what the council or the community could go to Service New South Wales and make known or request or something, under the agency agreement, it's very limited as to what we can or can't operate within and provide service-wise. So difference being an agency-based centre versus an actual normal Service New South Wales staffed and functioning centre. So I think the nearest is Nyngan, I think, in which case they can do a lot more than what the Warren agency can. So there's sort of limited space to go back to them and open up more services and whatnot through that. Not to say we can't approach them though.
Thank you. Is there anything further, Councillor McKay? No? Anything further from anyone else? Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So next we have the meeting of the Town Improvement Committee held on Tuesday, the 11th of March. Councillor Houston, and a seconder. Councillor Sevety, thank you. Councillor Houston.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. Good meeting. We came up with our wish list that we'd like to have for next financial year. I don't think there's too much more to add from the minutes that are there presented. So pretty short and sharp. Sweet.
Thank you. Anything further? Questions, comments? So we're all comfortable with that recommendation of the items listed?
And sorry, Madam Chair, one thing to add, that list is in the order of preference or importance.
Thank you.
Through the chair, just, given I wasn't at the meeting, that list of requests, is that in order of preferences?
Yeah.
Anything further? Happy?
Yes, well, I suppose that
Councillor McCluskey, yes.
through the chair again, so just personally, I wonder whether the sandstone blocks, given there are other means to barrier off the roadway through Oxley Park, wouldn't have a better use, say somewhere down the track in the CBD enhancement improvement program type thing, rather than just use them as barriers to prevent cars and caravans and whatever accessing the lawn area. I think they probably could be better used and find some other way of preventing vehicular access in Oxley Park.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Acting General Manager will make a comment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillor McCloskey I understand we do have the sandstone blocks and that the only cost associated with that is the plant and labour to install. So hence the reason of reuse of something that we've got available now.
Madam Chair, the thought of using the blocks as opposed to a fence was then people could still walk through or bikes could still go through and it wouldn't be a barrier to anything but a car. That's the reason.
Through the chair, by the same token, you could put gateways in another form of barrier like you would with the blocks. And I don't know that we'd have that many blocks up there to do all the roadway on both sides. But anyway.
So we're not sure of the numbers. Councillor Houston?
One last thing was, it was cheap. Because it wasn't going to cost us much money because we already had them. That was the other reasoning behind it. Yes.
So that could be discussed further, to go through the funding for next year. Thank you. Any further questions, comments? Moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So the meeting of the traffic committee held on Thursday, 13th of March. Councillor Kelly and somebody to second. Councillor Hosky. Hand up. Thank you. Councillor Kelly.
Basically, move that the minutes of the meeting be received and noted. Can I go and make comment, follow through in the meeting? The meeting was rather short and sharp, fairly quick. Looking at the Anzac Day application, it's commendable to the engineering staff. There's a lot of work involved and they come up with the goods every time. It might be noted the general business at the end, where I raised concerns about the speed limits past the golf club up to the on a racecourse road. We had some discussion with Jason Nicholson from Transport New South Wales, and those guys work in very strict parameters and guidelines. So there was probably a bit of an argument about safety features and whatnot, but he has recently contacted us and he did one of his checks against their policies on the way out of town, and he basically issued a statement back to us that it's not feasible for us to move the speed limit, and it's really an enforcement matter to slow people down. Yeah.
Kelly, any questions, comments? Councillor Surtees?
If I can, please, and it's nothing to do with the minutes, it's the information you gave me on the crossings. The reason I raised it was I've had a few people not complain, but raise concerns over when people are using the crossings around the roundabout. And I know it's an issue that's going to be a tricky one to fix because it's people coming around, like traffic coming around and not stopping when the crossings, and we've got several people in town who shouldn't really have a license. That's not the point. But we also have the trucks. So when they stop at the chemist, when they stop at the news agents, then they've got to get going again to get the other side, and then they have to stop again. I know you probably can't do anything about the actual physical crossing, but is there a way that you can put on like a light or a bell or something that just makes people aware that there are?
Probably,
I don't know how you get around it, but it was just a question that was raised by several people.
it's probably another good point for us to raise with Transport New South Wales, their issues. I did refer the document across to the councillor, and it's an extensive document and lots of calculations and so forth, but I think we'll note and put it up on the next meeting.
Councillor Kelly, I might also just ask if the manager of engineering services has any comment or further information on that. Just noted. Yep. Thank you very much. Councillor Houston.
Through you, Madam Chair. Councillor Kelly, can you just give us a bit more detail around the concern of the speed limit out near the golf course and where you've been moved to, and just a bit
what
more
it is.
information.
People, golf club people and people in Rifle Range Road, where you're on the 50k zone and the 80k sign comes up, people tend to plant it and they're doing a fair ton of speed by the time they come past Rifle Range Road. And anecdotally, they're probably exceeding 80 kilometres an hour, no problems at all. So people are having a bit of difficulty coming out on the roadway. So that was our argument. But we were sort of loggerheads against Transport New South Wales as to how to fix it, but it would have been nice to have had the police at the meeting, but following on from the meeting we had the other day with one of the police seniors, we will have police at the meeting in the future, because it's basically batted back to us. It's the enforcement problem, and the police handle that area. So that was purely the whole case for the argument. Because that area does get quite congested in the morning with vehicles coming and going, particularly from the businesses and whatnot. So
Sorry, comment from the acting general manager.
Can I add to what Councillor Kelly has said? The intention or the request was to move the 50-kilometre sign to the other side to the southern side of the Rifle Range Road intersection. We were informed that the current location of the 50-kilometre sign is outside of the bounds or the criteria set by Transport as well. It should be closer to town. In fact, on the other side, on this side of the creek, of the bridge. So, there was a little bit of, well, we've given you a little bit. And the fact that Councillor Kelly raised this meeting, hence the comment about behaviour control by the police.
Anything further? No, thank you, Councillor Kelly. So that's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. Now we come to the meeting of Mannix held on Tuesday, the 18th of March. If I can have somebody to move. Houston, thank you. Someone to second. Councillor Thirty, thank you. Councillor Houston. You have the right to comment, or
Pardon?
you have the right to comment as the mover of the item.
Oh, sorry. I was just, I'd like to move that the minutes of the Mannix meeting be accepted.
Thank you. Councillor Kinsey.
Page 743. There's a culvert to be replaced on the Oxley Highway. Where exactly is that culvert?
Thank you. Centre of Engineering Services.
Madam Chair, I believe it's on this side, the Collie side.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. See Councillor McCloskey's brain ticking, but nothing further from anybody else. Councillor McCloskey. I knew
It's
it.
a spelling mistake on page 8,
Right.
the Newey Bridge.
It's not new.
Yes.
Chair. That's probably why.
Sorry, which one is that? Oh,
Bridge renewal.
with this Y in the end. Yep.
They've got Y on the end of it.
New Park,
Very
nice and new.
New Park Bridge. Yeah.
So three places it's spelled correctly and one it's got a Y. Well done. Thank you. Anything further? Questions, comments? That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So now we're moving on to the meeting of the Murray-Darling Association Located Region 10, which was held on Tuesday, the 18th of February. If I could have somebody to move and second. So I think it was only Councillor or Mayor Whiteley that was in attendance. So yes, if somebody could just move and second and we can talk to this some. Councillor McKay, thank you. Councillor Jackson, thank you. Councillor McKay,
I move that the minutes be read.
thank you. I don't have anything further to add, but does anybody have any questions or comments? So thank you. So from General Manager, just pointing out that our mayor has been elected to the executive. So congratulations, Mayor Whiteley. Anything further, Councillor McKay?
So just a question, Deputy Mayor, can you describe what the Murray-Darling Association is and what it does?
Thank you, Councillor McKay. Myself personally, probably not best qualified, but hopefully the General Manager will be able to enlighten us.
It's split up into different regions, and we're in region 10, And so for some time, the chair of our Region 10 of the Murray-Darling Basin Association was the mayor of Narromine. And he's actually did go further too, right to higher up as well. It's really just representatives across the whole of the basin. In some areas pro plan, some areas not pro plan. We have not been going very much the last couple of years, but the mayor made a decision that he needed to be involved, and that's why he took it on this year. It hopefully will be a good networking for council, particularly in relation to government departments, Murray-Darling Basin Authority, and helpful instead of us finding out what changes happen. We can actually try to be involved in the changes for the future.
Councillor McKay.
So probably just more of a comment. So in summary, it's really it needs to provide regional input into the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. Is that the
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a water, actually a water and environment focus group. Yeah, okay.
Hopefully the economic, social and the three. A fourth with the cultural one as well.
Thank you. Anything further? I will just draw attention to minutes and the comments there around what Mayor Whiteley raised regarding insurance in towns. So noted concern that even with the levies, the insurance had increased, and noted that this was a real burden on anybody in the region. But we have spoken at length about that previously in this council. So it is still a burning issue and something that the Mayor did take the opportunity to raise in this forum. Thank you, Councillor Kinsey.
And ensure that he mentions the satellites of this Warrenshire.
Yes, 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 we will speak to the Mayor about that. I'm sure he did speak more broadly, not just the Warren Township.
Town
Town.
and Avatar and the town of Coloff.
Even elsewhere.
It doesn't say town, it says towns.
Yes, speaking in broad terms. All right. Thank you very much, Councillor Kinsey. Anything further? That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So the ordinary meeting of the Castlereagh Macquarie County Council held on Monday, 24th of February. Councillor Kinsey, thank you. Somebody to second. Councillor Kelly, thank you. Councillor Kinsey.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The usual run of people attended. I think we had only one member absent, which is pretty good. It was an interesting, we usually get a presentation from the Northwest Local Land Services, a bloke by the name of Todd Pallister. So we rattled on about Box On and how good we're going there, and I believe we are. But he mentioned something that was fairly disturbing. It's about the Hudson pear. Apparently we've got two varieties of Hudson pear, and one is bigger than the other. And unfortunately, the little bug that we've got to take out this Hudson pear only likes the big one. So if it's successful, all we're going to have to do is, in the finish, have a lot of little ones. Until we can find the bug to take out the little ones, we're back where we started. Extremely bad. It's anyhow. So that being what it is, we've decided that we're going to investigate GPS tracking of where all these things are being found. So if you find a bug plant over there, satellite will tell us where it is next time, so if it's still there or not. I thought we'd actually done this, from my memory, we were going to do GPS tracking of plants about 12, 15 years ago. So I'm surprised we're not doing it now. Anyhow. We're going to have a weeds conference on the 4th and 7th at Fort Macquarie. It was very disappointing that I asked if we could have presentation of that or put a motion that some things be talked about. That seems to be too difficult, and I don't understand why you have a conference and you can't do that, unless I'm getting this wrong. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, we're having a very bad infestation of Hericea cactus on our boundary with Trengy. The hierarchy, the Castlereagh, were going to go and investigate that and see what they could do about it. Because it's no good just us treating it and then Narromine Shire not doing their bit. So I haven't heard what's happened over that. I think that just about wraps me up. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great, Councillor Kinsey. Any further questions, comments? Councillor McKay?
Through Deputy Mayor, the sign on the Kringle Road out here, warning, I can't remember the weed, but is that done by the county council?
Yes.
Yeah, and funded by them?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's through our RAP funding, which is it's state or Commonwealth government money. It's just fair enough because Commonwealth let this bloody weeds come into the country in the first place.
Thank you.
Sorry about that word, but
Thank
it's
you.
infuriating.
All good. Anything further? No. All good. Thank you very much for that. So moved as, sorry, Councillor Kinsey.
I'll say about that. Commonwealth government is actually letting these cacti come in Australia. But when you go to Bunnings and see, I won't pick on Bunnings because there's just there even many dogs doing it. There's flogged cactus everywhere. And I look at it sometimes and I see them and I say, gee, I wonder which one of those is the next Hudson Pet. I've actually had Department of Ag, I mentioned this Department of Ag once years ago, and they said, oh, we check all this out and it's not going to happen. Well, it'll be too jolly late when it does. And I've always said that what should be happening is we should just ban the sale of this stuff. It should not be happening in Australia. They're not native. Why do we do it? We don't seem to be getting very far with that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kinsey. Anything further? Moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So next we're coming to policy items, such as one being the cemeteries policy. So the recommendation being that the information be received and noted, and that the cemeteries policy be adopted with minor amendments. Noting that the minor amendments in the document are highlighted in red. They are very minor. Councillor Voss, would you like to move? Thank you, Councillor Voss. Seconded, Councillor Sturkey. Thank you. Back to.
No, discussion, I've read it.
That's straightforward.
I can't see anything that jumps out that's controversial or.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? Fantastic. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. So the outstanding reports checklist under reports of the general manager. So moving that the information be received and noted, and items marked with an asterisk be deleted. So there's about half a dozen items to be deleted and some partial actions to be deleted. Somebody to move and second. Councillor Cleesby.
Councillor Surdity.
No, Councillor Cleesby, Councillor Surdity, Councillor Cleesby.
I just move. We move.
Further. Councillor Kinsey.
Page one. What, anything new come out of the mobile internet coverage at Evertime?
You. Acting General Manager, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillors, we have received advice. It's informal advice an email came through last night indicating that the application that has been made on behalf of Warren Shire Council to the Black Spot Funding Program, the federal Black Spot Funding Program, may see some success or improvements to the tower or a new tower at Nevertire. Now, I don't know the detail. I don't know that it's will definitely happen. The indications to date is that it's looking good. The other locations, Warren and also Collie and the mast towards Hatton Riggs, thank you. Hatton Rig, haven't heard anything about those, but certainly positive news about the situation around Nevertire.
Thank you. Councillor Servity?
Just a query on the one that we were talking about at Nevertire. Is that the one where they were talking about possibility of raising an extra 15
Correct.
meters?
Correct.
So as it goes up, does it get skinnier? Just curious. Be interesting to see if we get anything.
I think it'll be interesting to see if something so simple can make such a difference. Certainly, that's all it requires. Thank you. Anything further? Okay.
Question to acting general manager. So with the as an example, the Nevertire being upgrade, does the mobile black spot program just look at, it doesn't matter who the carrier is? So if the Optus tower gets increased at Nevertire, the Optus coverage improves, but the Telstra doesn't. Is that the way it works?
Possibly. I understand that applications would have been received from the likes of Optus and Vodafone, as well as Telstra. And I understand that the mast we're talking about is a Telstra mast, and raising it to 15 metres. I also have my suspicions that the reason, or one of the reasons, that Nevertire is looking good at this stage is that it is on the Mitchell Highway, which does have quite a few black spots along the highway as well, which helps Nevertire, which is great.
Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Wass, did you? No, right, just moving, that's right. Anything further? Moved and seconded, all in favour? Carried, thank you. So moving on then to item 2, being the committee and delegates meetings. And in recognition of Warren being a healthy town and to give awareness of a healthy lifestyle, Council will be standing while dealing with item 2. Thank you. So somebody to move and second, please. Councillor Jackson, Councillor Kinsey. Thank you, Councillor Jackson.
I'll move this recommendation, noting that future meeting not on schedule. 31st and 3rd is the AGM of Outback Arts.
Thank you. So just to clarify, that's not on the meeting schedule at the start of the business paper. So I think that is actually already on the meeting schedule. So that's it. Yeah, so that's fine. Thank you very much, Councillor Jackson. I will just make comment. Regarding the meeting with the Acting Inspector Michael Weagold from New South Wales Police. So myself, the Mayor, Councillor Kelly, the Acting General Manager and General Manager all attended that meeting. So it was great to have him here. So he's just the Acting Inspector that he did give us his time. We met for maybe an hour. We had the opportunity to convey some current concerns. I guess for his part, we did speak about staffing, and they are currently recruiting for a sergeant. And this is something we can speak about here, that the first round, they didn't have any suitable candidates. Second round, I think is opening maybe tomorrow, but they're optimistic that they've got at least one suitable candidate, which means that hopefully we'll see a sergeant in place soon. Not probably much else to comment on, but I will ask Councillor Kelly if he'd like to make any comments on that meeting.
Yeah, it was good to see it because it had been quite some time since the police actually did meet on that sort of forum. The inspector, I think he was very comfortable in the, was a fairly open conversation. And if the future that he sort of painted for us, and we do get the sergeant in place, I think we'll see a bit of a turnaround for the community. A lot more direction.
So I think it's moving forward, hopefully we can keep the communication open again and start to have a bit more interaction. So we haven't had a meeting like this for a little while, so it's all positive, looking forward. Anything further on this item? So Kinsey?
Probably not on the item, but is it possible to get the police to attend these general meetings? We used to do it years ago.
Thank you, Councillor Kinsey. We did speak about recommencing, which we have spoken about for some years now, recommencing the precinct meetings. So yes, that is something that we definitely said we wanted to see, and he was definitely in favour of doing that. So yes, I think we just need to keep asking and keep the door open, and hopefully we'll see that happen soon. Thank you. Anything further while we're standing and having a stretch? All good. All right, so that's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. Thank you all. Speak again. So coming now to item 3, works progress reports, infrastructure projects. To move and second, based on the information we received and noted. Councillor Surdity, thank you. Councillor Cleasby, Councillor Surdity. Thank you. Anything further on this item? Councillor McKay.
Through you, Deputy Mayor, just a question regarding the EV charging information. It notes that we're not eligible for a grant. So if that's the case, are we not considering this idea, or because there's a bit of a sort of funny information around how we should fund it? But is that are we going to be looking at it, or are we just going to keep looking at getting grants?
I'll go to the acting general manager, please.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Councillors, yes, council continues to pursue a EV charging station. We're seeking prices at the moment on the various models, if you like, of the charging stations. At this stage, the thinking is that the EV charging station would go behind the VIC. We do have significant power supply that has been associated in previous days with the Gillenden pump station, and there is parking areas there as well. So yes, we continue to pursue it.
Councillor Kelly.
Can I just add an observation on the EV site? Just wondering if the actual location over at the Visitor Information Centre is sort of totally appropriate when you consider it. It's hardly staffed, and it is a little bit isolated, and that particularly for, I would say, young travellers, female travellers plugging a car in there. I think I would be more comfortable if it was over, I don't know, somewhere close to the service station across the road where the the toilet block is. Just a matter of security and so forth, and to bring the people close to the town centre.
Yeah, but thank you, Madam Chair. Councillors, that's a good point, and certainly been discussed with staff. Also, adding to what you've commented on about the location and the isolation, what do people do for 40 minutes or an hour or however long it takes? So yeah, further discussions are taking place there on this location.
Thank you. Any further questions, comments? Councillor Kinsey.
And on these EV stations, are we going to own it? Is that the story?
That's my understanding, yes, and the power provided will be through some card mechanism that the people getting the power will physically have to pay for the power.
They have been proven to be problematic as far as maintenance is concerned.
That's a concern.
So we own the maintenance as well.
Other points? Thank you. Councillor McCloskey, are you
Oh, no.
trying to get my attention? No, you're just thinking. Right, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Kinsey. Anything further? Councillor McKay?
So in terms of next steps, so the council is pursuing this in the absence of grant funding. I'm assuming we have a budget for it, and if so, what will the council see as next steps?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The council, yeah, good question. We are seeking quotes, and I'm just thinking it's not a tender, so it need not come back to the council. However, if council would like to see a report on the final determination, so that size, location, seeking your concurrence, certainly do that.
Just to clarify, yeah, I think it's pretty important that the council does see.
Sorry, councillor.
Please wait, please. Sorry, Councillor McKay, yes, continue.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that would be good if council could see particular location, because it's obviously the probably the most important one, and then also the applicability to different types of electric vehicles as well. We just need to take that into account as well, and understand that if there are, because I'm not an expert in this, but I'm not sure whether a Tesla can charge at a normal electric vehicle. I know the opposite's not the case, but just understanding those sort of things before we proceed would be really good.
The General Manager would like to make a comment, I believe.
The analysis of the area did find the Visitor Information Centre was the number one priority of it's in most towns it's been attractions like that. So the 40 minutes to 1 hour, what is hoped that everyone actually between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. is when they come along and charging, and they can charge during the night too. I mean, but then during the day they go into the Visitor Information Centre and learn all about Warren, and hopefully then actually either spend money in town after they're charged. There were investigations, like for example, Macquarie Toyota. Macquarie Toyota has kind of got a need to have a charging station near them, but the power in that area, it was going to cost a fair amount of money. Most of it is grant, and to a certain degree it has to actually be finished before the 30th of June 2025. So one, it's been determined by authorities that the VIC is the number one priority, and the other ones just completely went by the wayside. Other locations that were thought of. In the end, if action's not taken as quickly as possible, the grant money that we've actually got will be lost on the 30th of June. It's the complication. For now, a couple of years, it's been determined that the VIC was the location because most travellers want to come into your VIC. And everywhere else you get saying, jump at it. VICs is where you try to put it. Or some sort of tourist attraction. And very fortunately, you see elsewhere like the Hunter Valley Wine Country, some of the larger restaurants can afford to have them put in there.
Thank you. Councillor McKay?
Still not comfortable.
sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, we'll go back to you, Councillor McKay, and then Councillor Kelly. Yep, Councillor McKay?
Yes, so 3 Deputy Mayor. Yeah, I suppose What I'm hearing is that we have to spend the money by the end of June. And apologies if this was discussed at previous council, but there's quite a few new councils here that brings up the speed. So I do think we're not rushing it because obviously it's been going on for a while, but it seems like a bit of a rush for new councillors. But if we're going to put an EV charger in, what I personally don't understand is what type of charger it's going to be. Is it a 60? Is it a 240? What cars does it service? Sure, the VIC might be best from an infrastructure point of view, but is it the best for spending money in town? And if we're going to rush this in order to get grant money, I just feel a bit nervous about it, given that I'm not sure council, as representatives of the community, are really understanding what's being proposed.
Okay, so just to clarify, so 50% needs to be spent by the 30th of June. Yep, so it's 50% that needs to be spent by 30th.
37,000, it's local roads and community infrastructure.
Right, so Councillor Kelly, we'll go back to you.
Basically supporting what Councillor McKay had to say on the issue, and I'll just reiterate that what would be the difficulty in reestablishing the site to somewhere like where I suggested, like given the fact of the isolation and the fact that the cafe or kiosk over there is basically, well, it seems to be left in the wake since the museum coming online over here. We had one operator in there and this wasn't successful. So I suppose that's where I'm coming from. There's security. There's nothing there other than the visitor information centre and the location. I just think it'd be common sense.
Thank you, Councillor Kelly. Councillor Houston.
Through you, Madam Chair, probably a question for
The General Manager.
General Manager. So when we say the money has to be spent by June, is that we have to have paid the invoice? Does the work have to be done by then or not? Or just the money be out the door?
Yeah, but they'll need evidence of it. Look, there were two locations seriously considered, Carter Oval, and we actually purposely spent making sure that to my knowledge, pipe work ready to go if we did get a grant to actually put it in there as well. As I say, and then Carter Oval still was way down the list of priorities by the people who did the assessment. As I say, the VIC was assessed as being the #1 priority for Warren Shire, not by us, but by the people who actually are part of the process for it. It's at VICs or tourist centres or tourist places where they're going. And at the moment, sure, but someone else may come in and I mean, as I say, they go into VIC, then they can actually learn about it and they can stay in town. We hope that's the idea. They still come into the centre of town after being taught to things. Just that the other thing is for a 60 kilowatt by the looks, there's no power upgrade needed. And eventually we would hope in the next few years, a complete road system and parking system that's even much more professional over there by grant again, which adds to an EV station.
Sorry, Councillor Houston.
Madam Chair, really strongly endorse some of Bob's comments there. And I think Councillor Kelly's position, they can walk the VIC or they can walk into town or they can go for a walk around the Oval. It's just, for me, that's going to, I know that the reports have said what they've said, but I take on board there's no cafe. Yeah, it's just, I think that's a better spot where people can wander and better see the town and, yeah, and still access the VIC because it's just straight across the road. It's just my.
Thank you, councillor Houston. I think we've probably had enough comment on that at the moment, unless there's something more from the other side of the room. Yep, I think we've probably had enough comment. So to move this forward, I think we would like some further information. Is that what we're? Yes.
Sort of draft version. That's been moved in second.
Yes, thank you. So suggestion being to add to our recommendation.
And that a further report be provided on the EV state, proposed EV station.
At the next council meeting.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That'll need to
Yes.
be.
Yep, thank you. So yes, given the timeframe, we don't have long, but I think we can ask for this. Yes, sorry, councillor Kinsey.
I think budget should be mentioned in that motion. And potential problems if something, what happens when we've got to fix it?
So this that was addressed in the report. Did you want to add something further to the recommendation or?
Probably what I've with the work.
So that a further report be provided to the next council meeting on the proposed EV station,
Including location, costs,
including location,
Yes.
costs, estimation,
etc.
including location and estimation costs.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you, councillor Watts.
The report should include, I think, some indication of power availability. I mean, if there's superior power to supply 240 kV, is there a place in town where that could be done without paying for upgrades?
Thank you. Yes. So just taking a moment to have a look at that. I think that moves us forward from the comments that have been received. If the mover and the seconder are happy with that, firstly, councillor Sturdy, that's okay with you. Councillor Cleasby, are you comfortable with that?
Yep.
Is there anything further to add at this point, councillor McKay?
I think it would be useful prior to that report being done is canvassing alternate locations with probably with councillors. Because I think just providing a report which says that the visitor centre is the place to go, it's not what we want. As I understand it, if we're going for a 60 kW charger, it can go anywhere. And there's obviously the location councillor Kelly suggested there's you get in the centre of town, there's the car park, medical centre car park, potentially a place there where they could get out and walk around town as well. So
yep.
I'd like to see that report consider potentially visitor centre, the area that councillor Kelly has suggested, and then a location in the centre of town as well. I think to get covered. I just can't see it.
We'll make sure everyone gets a copy of the feasibility report.
So in the meantime, yes, the copy of the feasibility report will be made available to understand what locations have been considered and why they've not been decided to be appropriate. So I think we can leave the recommendation as that. Everybody's still happy? Yes, great. Sorry, councillor Kelly.
Can I just, I think we've finished with that subject.
So another matter, yes.
Just on the last page, there's the people note about the submission for a grant for the fish release into the river again this year. Can anybody advise if council has been approached by Gunning Bar Fishing Club on this one at all?
Thank you, Acting General Manager.
Madam Chair, I'm not aware of any.
I spoke to them just a couple of weeks ago and they were going to try and run for their own funding, but I suggested they speak to someone here to set that, if they don't cross wires with our efforts as well.
Sure. So noting that the responsibility there is the town services manager, maybe we'll follow that up from that. So thank you.
Redirect them to services. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Kelly. Anything? Yep, councillor Cleasby.
Madam Chair, could we just have a update on the animal shelter? Has it got blocks laid as yet, or and are we confident that we will bring in that in with the budget. If, are there blocks laid is, or
Thank you, councillor. Yes, acting general manager will comment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillors, I was out on site last week speaking to the block layers. They were hoping to complete the work at that stage by the end of this week. The roofing structure, as I understand it, is on site, ready to be put up. So again, speaking to the staff, timing good as far as the project timing is concerned. All moving ahead. Johnny, sorry, I should say the our ranger is happy with the work being done, and some minor modifications have been made to suit the practice that Johnny wants to undertake. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Clasby. Anything further, councillor Houston?
Through you, Madam Chair, just wondering if we could get an update on where the fencing at the holes in the fences at the airport's up to, please.
Thank you. We'll go first to the acting general manager, please.
It's a very good question, councillor.
It's been done.
It's been done. Okay, I know the channel has been done.
3 hours have been involved.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so between us, we have an answer that it's been done, temporarily done. Yes, thank you.
Through the chair, so the pipe has not yet been put in.
No.
So the fence is still got the structure that was put there a month or so ago to stop them coming in. Correct. Chain mesh fence. And chain wire.
And
So
the reason,
it's likely that the pipe might go in, so the fence can be reinstated.
Thank you. Yes.
Madam Chair, we've been advised that it's delayed. It's been purposely delayed because we're waiting on a grant that could be paying for it.
So this is not
Thank-
part, the grant you're waiting.
Through the chair. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, through the chair again. So the grant you're waiting, but the work that's been done, wasn't it to be done under the initial funding program?
I've been told that the work has been delayed because we put in another grant that includes it.
Thank you. Anything further, councillor McCloskey?
No.
Thank you.
And there's lots of drainage, there's a triangle, extra drainage too, just, so you know. I'm 100% certain on it, but that's the reason why it hasn't been completed, for that reason.
So, right, through the chair again. So the extra funds required to complete the work that needs to be done amounts to about what?
But the extra drainage is all the stuff that's the drainage close to the apron and all sorts of things, not just through the fence there.
So the open drain from the bottom of 0321 down to the culvert, then down to the siphon that runs in through under the channel and into the creek. That's extra as opposed to.
And plus also near the apron. And we're not 100% certain, we've just been told that that's the reason why it hasn't been finished, is because the whole drainage system is part of a grant that they've applied for. We don't want to touch anything until we either go either way. So that's the reason why it hasn't been done. Didn't stop. Should have still ensured that there was a fence there.
Thank you for the information. And thank you, councillor Houston, for the original question. Anything further? So noting that the recommendation has been added on to with the agreement of councillor Surtees and councillor Clasby. So just before we move on, the general manager would like to just refer to.
So today we start the assessment of the tenders for the levy works, which will be going to the April council meeting. And so far, everything is positive.
Thank you. So that's on page 24 of the report. Just application. Thank you. So back to where we were. So with the agreement of councillor Surtees and councillor Clasby, with the amended recommendation, are we all in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 4, the drought resilient plan project, noting that we also have a document on our table, further to the report. Councillor Surdity, thank you. Somebody to second, please. Councillor Cleasby, thank you. Councillor Surdity.
Yeah, I'd like to definitely move the recommendation, and having said that, I actually had a chance to read this document over the last couple of days. It's an absolutely excellent piece of work. A lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of research and everything on into this, and I don't think it will be really faulted. Maybe it would be minor and fiddly bits, but it's an excellent document. She's done a wonderful job, and I think she needs to be commended for it. Having said that, I would like to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Surdity. I guess just a couple of comments that I would like to make. Just the background to this project. So there were a series of workshops held, I think, probably at least 18 months ago now. Mayor Whiteley and I attended a meeting out at the Mara. There were a couple of meetings held here in Warren. I think a lot of us probably did attend those. That was the beginning of the process. And now this funding that is available is, as per the recommendation, to be shared between Bogan, Canamble and Warren. So basically, we weren't comfortable with any further costs on any further money being spent on consultation. So this idea was brought up. And yes, I definitely agree that it's a very high quality document and obviously very well presented to get our counterparts at Bogan and Canamble across the line. So yes, thank you very much. We're all very confident in the capabilities of our economic development and visitation manager. And yes, it's definitely something that we want to see come to fruition. On that note, I would also like to congratulate the Mayor for managing to get the mayors and general managers from Bogan and Canamble here. There was a lot of back and forth and a lot of angst to find a suitable time to get everybody in the same room, but that did happen. And our economic development and visitation manager dazzled them with the project proposal and we got them across the line. So I think it's a very promising outcome. Yes, I definitely support the recommendation personally, and I think it's a wonderful way to see something more tangible than, as I said, spending any further money on consultation. So I think it's something that we're going to really benefit. Would anybody like to say anything further? Are we all for the recommendation? Questions, comments? Councillor McKay? Yes.
Through you, Deputy Mayor. The project's being led by the Warren representative. So is the budget for will the budget for this project be paying that person's costs?
Yes, acting general manager.
Madam Chair, yes, we will be taking some money off the final grant total to fund the work undertaken by our economic development visitation manager.
Anything further? So it's been moved and seconded. So the 6 points of that recommendation. All in favour? Carried. Thank you. Moving now to the reports of the Divisional Manager of Finance and Administration. Item 1 being the reconciliation certificate for February. Somebody to move a second, if I may. Councillor Cleasby. Thank you. Councillor Kinsey. Thank you. Councillor Cleasby.
Just received a note.
Anything further on item 1? Thank you. All in favour? Carried. Item 2 being the statement of rates and annual charges as at 12th of March. Somebody to move and second. Councillor Surdity, Councillor Kinsey, thank you. Councillor Surdity.
the recommendation, and just a comment if I can, it's nice to see we're still keeping up with the past years. We got to be able to, it's important, now it's a steady. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? In favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 3, being the works progress reports. The information be received and noted. Somebody to move and second. Councillor Kelly, thank you. Councillor McKay, Councillor Kelly.
Basically move that the information be received and noted.
Fairly straightforward. Yeah. Any comments or further information required? All in favour? Carried. Reports of the Divisional Manager of Engineering Services. So item 1 being works progress reports for roads. Somebody to move and somebody to second, if I may. Councillor McCloskey, Councillor Kinsey. Thank you, Councillor McCloskey.
Through the chair, if I may. Just item 1 with respect to the flood damage works that's progressing and going ahead, and the budgets that were got listed here on page, just 2 that I've noted, on page 4, have those budgets changed from what was originally estimated?
Madam Chair, yes, there's been some changes.
Yeah. I just note 2 of them in particular. The Muller Road, in a report to the June Roads Committee meeting, there was listed potentially what were going to be the budgets for the roads. Yeah, and now the budgets for 2 roads, the Ellendura Road and the Buddabadar Road, have gone from what was 96 to 50 for Buddabadar and 201 to 176 for the Ellendura Road, just 2 roads. So there's been some to and fro, has there?
Yes, Madam Chair. The figures that were previously reported were figures that we submitted. And then what we have now is what has been approved.
Your attention to detail is commendable, Councillor McCloskey.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Your attention to detail is commendable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Going back to June, that's some.
Nothing improves like reading paper.
Thank you. Anything further on item 1? Councillor McKay.
Just through you, Deputy Mayor, just a comment to the roads team. I think we've probably been fortunate that it's been dry. One blessing, so it's allowed us to catch up on a lot of work. So, and certainly the feedback I get from ratepayers is that the roads are in great shape. So that's a pat on the back for the team and the job they're doing.
Thank you, Councillor McKay. Anything further? We're all happy. It's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. So item 2, works progress reports for town services. Somebody to move and somebody to second, please. Councillor McKay. Houston, thank you. Councillor McKay.
I move the recommendation.
Councillor McKay. Anything further required for item 2? No. Good.
Sorry,
Oh, sorry, thank you. Councillor McKay, just in time.
wasn't sure if the sewer testing was involved, was going to be commented on here.
The smoke testing.
Yeah, smoke.
Thank you. And engineering services.
Madam Chair, the smoke testing and CCTV investigations is still ongoing. So when it's completed, we'll get a report on where the problems are. Then we'll present that to the Water and Sewerage Committee for further discussion.
But there's going to be no sneak peeks. But,
Thank you. Engineering services. I'll wait that information. Thank you. Councillor.
But just to me, sorry.
Thank you. Right, so thank you. That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? Carried? Thank you. Item 3, works progress report for March. We need to move and somebody second. Councillor McCloskey. And Councillor Kelly, thank you. Councillor McCloskey.
To the chair, if I may. Just in light of the water and sewage works, that work been carried out by day labour or contractors? Or a combination of both?
Madam Chair, which button is it? What?
The report on item 2, page 26.
Oh, sorry, we moved on to item 3.
Sorry,
You-
sorry. Oh, no.
Sorry, you can.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, right. So item 3 is what I just had to move in. Councillor McCloskey, would you like to choose item 3 at all?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sorry for the confusion. I thought we just had time for item 2, but right, item 3, the general manager just has one comment.
Chair, crossing fingers, new grader on Monday, the 7th of April. And then I think a couple of weeks later, a tender truck, and then another week after that, the 2 other trucks. But you can't guarantee it with these things, which is, and if possible, Sylvester and I, or for court plan committee or any interested councillors to come down to, particularly the graders, a pretty big and important piece of either plant and occasions. So photographs or something like that.
McCloskey?
Who's the recipient of the new grade? Fitzy.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything further? Manufacturing services? No. Thank you. That's been moved by Councillor McCloskey and Councillor Kelly. All in favour? Against? Carried? Thank you. We're coming now to the reports of the Manager of Health and Development Services. Item 1 being development application approvals. Ready to move and second. Councillor Kinsey, thank you. Councillor Surdity. Councillor Kinsey.
Oh, just very good to see stuff happening in the boundaries of our shire. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Any further on item 1? Councillor McKay.
Through you, Deputy Mayor, just a question. The 600 bedroom units, if that's part of the caravan park, is that right?
Through you, Madam Chair, that's actually part of the motel.
Or motel, thank you.
Motel.
So it's like an extension to the motel?
Correct.
Thank you. Councillor Watts.
Deputy Mayor, I believe that the motel is likely to be sold with the DA in place, but the units may be not installed before that sale takes place.
You might leave that information as it is. Thank you. Anything further? Item 1. Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. So item 2 being works progress reports for health and development services. Somebody to move, somebody to second. Councillor Houston. Councillor Cleesby, thank you. Councillor Houston.
I move that the information be received and held.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on item 2, progress reports? Good, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. So that brings us to notices of motion, questions with notice, of which there are nil. Matters of urgency, I believe, to be nil. So moving then on to confidential matters. So we'll need a resolution to proceed into the committee of the whole closed council to consider the matters listed on the Manager Health and Development Services report. And the Divisional Manager of Engineering Services, there are two there, for which a separate resolution has been carried this meeting. I have somebody to move that. So Councillor Surtees, Councillor Jackson, thank you. And if Councillor Surtees and Councillor Jackson are also happy, we also need a resolution to exclude the press and public, thank you, from the Committee of the Whole closed council meeting for the reasons stated in the motion of referrals. Happy to put the names to that recommendation as well. Councillor Surtees and Councillor Jackson, thank you. Sorry, just wait a second. Okay, so thank you. We're resuming open council, and we will ask for the mover and the seconder for this, which was
Certainty. Oh, no.
sorry, just one moment. I'll get organised. They're very pleased to be cut. Yep. So now back in open council, Councillor Cleesby, Councillor Kelly, would you be happy to move the recommendation to open council? Yep, for item 1, and the recommendation, General Manager William read out.
Recommendation for the net waste collection recycling used motor oil quotation F4287 is 1. That the information we received a note of 2, quotation F4287 for the collection, recycling of used motor oil be awarded Sam's Waste Management for the submission price is set out in this report for the initial 2-year term, the option of a 2 by 12-month extensions, and 3, delegate the authority to execute the contracts of collection, recycling of used motor oil to the general manager of the respective participating councils.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. And item 2 being the Warren Town flood study. So it's moved by Councillor Kinsey and Councillor Cleesby. If you're happy to move and second to open council, thank you. So the recommendation being
For the Warren Town flood study is the quotation for hydrospatial for approximately $211,420, including GST for provision of Warren Town flood study be accepted.
thank you. That's been moved and seconded. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Thank you very much for your cooperation and participation this morning. We have gone through all of our reports and business for the day, but I would just like to finish by making mention of our acting general manager and saying a big thank you to him publicly for stepping in whilst the general manager needed a bit of a break. We are looking forward to having you back, Gary, but yes, in the meantime, we've been in very safe hands, and a big thank you to Stephen for stepping in at very short notice, and also thank you to your wife, Christine, for encouraging you to come and help us out. So thank you to you, and thank you to Christine.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I'll say something, Madam Chair, that look, thank you very much in the first instance in considering me. When you do retire, you sort of get old, you think, well, if you buy your used by date perhaps. And when I got the phone call from Gary, I was really shocked. Thank you also to all of you for your friendship, your knowledge, your assistance, all that goes with making this a great council. I really love Warren. I love Warren Council as well. And I echo comments made by Councillor McKay regarding the roads, but it's not just roads. Everything else looks pretty good around town. And I just encourage staff to continue doing what they're doing. Encourage the councillors to continue doing what they are doing as well. You would have to be, excuse me, as a group of councillors, the best council that I've worked with. And certainly the mayor, along with Milton, the best mayors that I've worked with. It's easy to talk to all of you. It's easy to talk openly and frankly with all of you, which is very important in this position, because not always are things rosy. Sometimes we have to talk about negatives and as well as perhaps they should. So thank you very much for your friendship again. I've really enjoyed the community, even more this time. Last time I was here, I was enjoying the RSL club. This time I was enjoying the golfing more than perhaps the RSL club. Even last night I was down there spinning some yarns and having a laugh with some of the people that go down there. So thank you very much. I've really, really enjoyed it. It is, I'm packing up the unit now. It's, it is, I am a little bit emotional about it, but thank you very much for all your assistance.
There being no further business, I will declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or